Paradigm Shift podcast is brought to you by the Angry Unicorn Method. If you are working out, if you're programming workouts for yourself, and you need a little bit of help, you need some fresh ideas, check them out. They have free daily programming available. That is available on Instagram, the Angry Unicorn Method. On today's episode of Paradigm Shift podcast, we have Dustan Mosely in the house. Dustan is a professional wrestler. He is on his way towards WWE. So I got to talk to him for about an hour. Wrestling has always fascinated me a little bit because you have this dynamic where you have this almost like actor or stand-up comedian character you have to build. And then you also have to be super fit. You have to basically beat the shit out of people. And that dynamic has always fascinated me. So I got to pick his brain a little bit about that. And Dustin's a great guy. You're going to love him. He's a Southern gentleman. Let's give it up for Dustan Mosely. The Devil Dog, Dustan Mosely.
The Devil Dog.
How you doing, man?
Good about yourself.
Doing great, man. Glad to have you on.
Shit, I'm glad to be here.
So last time I saw you, you were getting kicked in the head. So that was nice.
The good old buzzsaw kick.
The buzzsaw kick.
Yeah, buzzsaw kick. He threw it twice. The first time, I kind of got out of the way real quick. I had to go ahead and put him in a jackhammer.
So I saw you in your match on Friday evening.
Yep.
I saw you perform.
For the first time.
How was it?
Awesome. I couldn't ask for anything better, especially with it being my first match. It just, everything happened the way it did. Able to get the jitters out, everything. At this point, I've been training for it for 6 months, and I haven't been in front of a live crowd. So kind of going over everything in a gym full of like just a couple of people in there is a little bit different. But actually seeing it on a live performance, I was pretty happy.
So describe the show for people that weren't there.
The show was a street fair. It was a Lucha Fest, and they had an attendance of 3,000 people that day. The funny thing is they said the week before was only about 300. So if you put some lucha and some wrestling out there, they come to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you obviously you're a deep thinker. You like to be very critical of your performance. Is there anything you would change?
I can't be too crucial on that because it's my first one. So it set me up for a good foundation. Yes, there are some X's and redos, perform better here. Got to sit down with my coach and talk about it as he watched over it. So it's one of those things. There's a lot of bad that needs to be picked up. But then again, there's some good in there too, especially with it being my first performance. Not bragging or anything, but I just had a good time, and I felt everything went the way it needed to. And about the only thing I could hear in my head was my coach Merrick, slower, the whole time. So I felt I kind of hit where I needed to, but also gave me room to grow.
So that cue slower. What does that mean?
Slow your ass down. Yeah, so usually, especially in front of a live performance, you're going to speed things up a lot. Whenever I did MMA and boxing, that kind of wasn't a bad thing as long as you stuck to the game plan, right? With this, whenever you hear that silence in the audience, you almost want to hurry up and do something. But in reality, they're trying to register what's going on too. So you just can't go in there like a backyard brawl or something. You got to slow things down. And hearing that made my match go way easier than in front of a gym with nobody, where you kind of hurry up through things. But slow is smooth is fast.
Yes, I've heard that before. That sounds a lot like I was watching a John Mayer interview, and he was talking about building a guitar solo.
Oh, yeah, he's fucking awesome at it.
That guy crushes it.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, if you start at 10, you got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You got to build it.
Yeah, you got to. In wrestling, it's an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
You got to put the crowd in and out of their seats and make them want to watch what you're doing, because the cat's already out of the bag, right? So it's one of those things where, what I like about John Mayer is he's not about how many notes you can play. It's how much can you do with that one note. And, so in wrestling, slowing it down, having your 5 hits of death really, and just kind of go through the P's and Q's and where you need to be.
Nice. Good John Mayer guitar solo on the wrestling ring. That's your new walk-up tune.
Yeah. Well, I would do, especially by John Mayer, is what he did with Ain't No Sunshine.
Yeah, his blues stuff is just fantastic.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I wish I could play like that, but there's a lot of hours right there.
I'm good enough at guitar just to know how much I suck.
Yeah.
Is what I like to say.
That's right. You know what shit looks like or sounds like.
I sure do. So what got you into wrestling?
I mean, there's a lot that boiled to the point, but the main reason, man, it's a childhood dream. As a kid, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't have any wild, like, I'm going to be a doctor or a lawyer. It was, I wanted to be a professional wrestler. I wanted to throw people around, have fun. And, whenever we watch Monday Night Raw, Tuesday, we're performing on the trampoline in my backyard. And, my dad was a welder, so he constantly had to weld the frames back together and everything from me doing a choke slam to somebody and crashing them through the trampoline. But really what drove the nail in the coffin was just me getting off my ass and doing what I want to do. So just kind of sitting around and, hey, you're not getting any younger. And one of my best friends and now mentor, Brian Fogarty, actually sat me down in a PTSD Foundation meeting, and he was just like, if you could stop doing everything you're doing right now, what would you be? It's a professional wrestler. Well, how do you do that? It's like, hell, I don't know. So it was one of those things where he kind of sat me down and we walked through a whole plan and made it happen. I got online. My dad is my dad's a big wrestling fan. And he had mentioned, I wanted to do the Broken Skull Ranch also.
Where's that?
It's the Steve Austin show, Broken Skull Ranch. And he brings out, if you think you're bad, he brings you out to his ranch and he puts you through a ringer, so it's one of those things like, he's like, man, you'd be good at that. And I was like, hell yeah, that's my style of training, just crazy shit. And so he also said that Seth Rollins, and I like Seth on TV, on WWE and stuff, because he's been from the bottom all the way to the top, and man, he's great. He can play anything really. And I looked up his gym, and the rest is history. Now we're here.
Now we're here.
Yeah, now we're here. But what I found on his gym was the structure, the athletic program that comes with it. And that's me talking about fitness. You got to do so many CrossFit workouts extra a week on top of the class and the class workouts. And you're stuck there for 3 months in Davenport.
So you're talking about Black and Brave.
Black and Brave Wrestling Academy. That's who I signed up for and wanted to get the training from them.
Yeah. So take me through, you were in the Marines.
Yes, 4 years, 2010, 2014.
Take me, obviously you were in pretty good shape when you left, right?
Yes, I was actually in MMA shape.
You were in MMA shape.
Yeah, I was on the road doing MMA, and then my grandfather brought it up one breakfast. What are you going to do after high school? I was like, shit, I don't know. I haven't been looking at colleges. I didn't know how that worked out. And I'm working right now. And he's like, you should do the military. Well, they started talking about it because I was going to go professionally in MMA. And the military long-term made more sense. And it got me out of the Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And it gave me a job. I got paid. I got to travel the world. I got to work out. And I got an education at the end of it, whenever my 4 years were up.
And then after you left the Corps,
mm-hmm.
That's how you say it, right?
The Marine Corps.
The Corps.
Yeah, you can say it. It's not corpse. A lot of people will say the Marine Corps.
Yeah. And how was your training basically leading up to Black and Brave, where it was like a 3 months intensive program?
How was the training during the camp or my training before?
What did you do leading up to?
I got
Davenport?
slayed. Brian Fogarty, my mentor, best friend. Right before COVID and stuff happened, we ran into each other, and started going to the PTSD Foundation meetings. And that's like group talks, and then he walks you through. If you're having a shitty day, shitty week, we're gonna get you back on schedule. And the PTSD Foundation is what I went to after the VA gave me medications, things like that, and the medications weren't consistent. And hell, I felt that I was doing better without the medication, but I still needed therapy. And the PTSD Foundation and Brian gave me the meetings, and Brian actually got me more outdoors for my therapy sessions. So like whenever we would go talk, we were hiking or we were riding our bikes, like we were doing mountain biking and stuff like that. Anything to get me outdoors, because that was my issue. And that's one reason why I didn't do online schooling whenever the pandemic hit. And because I just couldn't concentrate really and stay inside all day. So I met him before the pandemic, and then we started doing hikes for the Tadpole Foundation. And then with the PTSD Foundation, we were doing our meetings. So the training before happened in Montana, where he needed to do cycling, and I needed to get back into endurance and flexibility and stuff like that. So we started cycling for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and then we went to a strength conditioning program. And then by that time, I got finalized, but no heavy weights. And then I was going to max out and do heavy stuff whenever I got to the camp on their fitness program. So stepping in, I was back in the 6-minute miles. I was about 220. So conditioning wise, I was good. And strength and agility, I made sure, joints, flexibility, everything was there.
Yeah, it sounds like a good foundation to build motor control on,
Mm-hmm.
because you had to learn basically all your technical moves in that camp, correct?
Oh, yeah. All the basics, the good stuff. A lot of people forget, it's the basics. These are the moves that you'll need to get a match going. Anything you need to do afterwards, just wait till you finish the course and then start practicing that shit.
So I know you play a little guitar.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
First song you probably learned was like Smoke on the Water or something like that, right?
No, man. That's what you took me for?
What was the first song you learned on the guitar?
I actually did not pick it. I had the instructor pick it, and it was damn man, I can't even remember. I can remember because it's Can't You See?
Can't You See?
Marshall Tucker Band. But the next day I came back and I was like, hey, can I learn how to play the Hank Williams Jr. one? So that was it.
What is the wrestling version of that? So like someone comes in for their first lesson, what's the first move they learn?
Rolls, gymnastics. And first and foremost, like the day 0 is a conditioning test. So I'd probably, skip that because you can ask someone, do you already know anything? All right, let me see how do you play it? Play it faster, until they screw up and it's like, all right, let's give you your first lesson. But for wrestling, the first lesson that we was taught was rolls, gymnastic rolls, front roll, back roll. And then you get into the other stuff.
How soft is that ring? Because I know it makes
it ain't soft at all.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't tell. I was like, maybe it looks like it's hard. It's hard, huh?
So yeah, it's a 1/2 inch. You got a canvas, 1/2 inch foam underneath. Probably not even that, because most of them are already broken down. So they're down to squished to a 1/4 inch. And then you got 2x6s underneath that. And then you got 4x4s, or not 4x, 2x2 steel tubing underneath it and in the frame. It's all wood and steel.
So it's about how you fall.
Yeah, you got to know how to take that ass whooping, or take a bump is what we call it.
Yeah, take a bump.
Yeah.
That's when you hit the ground?
Hit the ground, don't hit the nose candy. So you're taking, pretty much what you're doing is there's a carpet underneath you or a rug, and they're going to pull that rug right out from underneath you, and your back has to land where your feet are. And, there's different ways of doing it.
So how was the military mindset? How did that factor in to your training? Are you like David Goggins out there?
David Goggins is David Goggins. I'm Dustan Mosely. Well, the thing is like I love his mentality because it's me, right? You got to stay hard. He says stay hard. I say stay frosty. So it's like one of those things where I love David Goggins, and that was part of my training before those 6 months I was in doing the endurance and the biking and everything. Brian was a drill instructor, sergeant major in the Marine Corps. He's a pretty hard dude. And I had him on me all the time. And he's pretty much, it was like a free version of David Goggins just screaming at you all the time, So, and I dig that. I like that style of training. It's something, I'm not talking about going around just cussing people out. But, we're not quitting. You're going forward, and you're going to get through all of this bullshit that's going to happen. And, you're going to make this happen. And there's no excuses. Get your ass up. Everybody's hurting, and everybody was hurting in that camp. Some people hit it better than others, but boy, it was great that I found you for the therapy, the sports, everything from the chiropractic, all of it, because, man, each week was a different scenario and different injury. And hell, you kept me right in the ring.
Yeah. We treated you with some manual therapy, some corrective exercise, and I was happy. I just wanted to get you through camp, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
It was, I can't thank you enough.
Thank
that.
You, man.
Yeah, that right there it kept me on top.
I tell you, I really like treating wrestlers. They're tough dudes, and they do exactly the treatment plan you line out for them. So David Goggins, I'm a big fan of that guy.
I love him.
Yeah,
I love him.
And he's not like I'll be honest, he's a little intense for me.
Yeah.
But if you can just take a couple things that he said, the biggest thing for me was when he was talking about victim's mentality.
Oh.
And how many times like something fucked up in my life happened and I was like, well, poor me.
Yeah.
That victim's
mentality.
It is so common. And you can you're having a bad day and then you're blaming the day.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're just like, fuck it, man. Life isn't easy.
Yeah. This ain't easy or whatever. You want to back out, go home.
So even if you're intimidated by David Goggins and his demeanor, there's definitely something everybody can learn from him.
Everybody can, but who wants to make that change?
Yeah.
And he ain't worried about if you don't want to do it. Hey, those people can go kick rocks.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing, and I love it because it's like Bernie Mac used to say. Hell, fuck them if they don't like you. If you can't be you around them, fuck them. You don't need them in the first place. And I take that, serious too. Like, hell, be yourself. And then the right people will come around. If not, at least you know yourself.
So now that you're out of camp, you're training on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
What does your week look like? You do some technique stuff and then some weightlifting and conditioning kind of broken down?
Yeah. I'm lifting 6 days a week. Just most of 4 days out of the 6, I'm doing doubles, so 2 a days, and I'm doing CrossFit, strength conditioning, and then ring conditioning is what I do 2 of the days. And with that, I don't take any breaks. So for 30 minutes, you're going to be moving, and in between each set, you're going to be in the ring running the ropes and taking bumps, rolls, just kind of wearing yourself out for 30 seconds to a minute, and then you go right back to the set.
What does the Devil Dog do for self-care? Are you doing nutrition other than the manual therapy part? What do you do for nutrition and self-care?
Nutrition, I'm meal prepping my own food. Right now I'm trying to gain weight, so I'm eating clean, but then again, I'm trying to add calories in there too. So I do that. A lot of cold showers in the morning and in the evening before I go to bed. Icing, especially my neck, shoulders. If there's any therapy out there, I'm trying it.
Did I get you on the cold showers?
No, I've always taken cold showers, especially in the military.
Before?
Yeah. Especially like I wake up in the morning, I like to rinse off a little bit before I get my day going, and I just sit underneath that cold shower and just about 5 minutes or so, just let my body take it in.
Yeah, I started
You want to
doing.
scream.
Yeah, seriously, I started doing cold showers a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't missed a day since.
That's awesome.
It's not enjoyable.
I don't take the whole shower cold.
Yeah, you got to enjoy some of it.
Yeah, the first.
The
But it's
first-
like, hey, David Goggins even says, you got to do something you don't want to be able to do something you do want. So if you want that 5-minute hot shower, you got to trade it for a 5-minute cold shower.
I think I've told 100 people about cold showers, and maybe one person's
Yeah,
done it.
yeah.
But that person,
Well, it's way cheaper than an ice bath. To me, I mean, I don't know how people think about it, but I've got to get an ice bath too if I don't have a cold shower. I got to, get as much as I can, with the cold, and especially for my joints, muscle recovery, not as sore, and it just feels good
and
afterwards.
mindset too.
Mindset. And that's what I loved about the West Coast is that water's cold year round, and you get out there and float in that salt water, and just sit out there for about 20 minutes before you get eaten up by a shark or something.
Yeah,
And man, the therapy is way better. I like it, and not everybody can do it. You get people that panic too.
definitely. I did a cold stream in Alberta it was spring.
Man, how cold was that?
It was cold as balls, man. Like glacier fed.
Mm.
And then because I was outdoors, it was a little more bearable. So it almost like got me in the mood for it.
Right.
But yeah, I just plunged in there. It was the coldest water I've ever been in. I stayed in for probably 3 minutes, but that was like I felt like just a new man after. So if you haven't tried cold therapy, for those of you listening,
And for the Tadpole Foundation, we call it polar plunge.
polar plunge.
If you go on that hike, your ass is getting in that cold water.
Yeah. Bring it. Unleash your inner David Goggins. Get in that cold water.
Stay hard.
Stay hard.
I love him, man.
So the cool thing about wrestling that I have recently found is you've got this dynamic between training and doing all these moves, but then you also have the art side to it.
Yes.
So you have to develop a character, not unlike an actor or a stand-up comedian. And your character's the devil dog.
Well, I mean, comedians do it too. You have your act on stage, way different than what's at home. There's a persona that you got to put out there, or you're just gonna be a normal guy getting on stage. In wrestling, I'm the devil dog right now, and there's probably gonna be some ups and downs with the name. It might be a name change or something, but right now we're running with the devil dog, and it's just prior Marine Corps experience. I'm playing the sergeant that I was in the Marine Corps, putting it out there on the table. It's that simple for me. But it's something I felt comfortable with, and it's something that I believe that pro wrestling needs. And, I don't really see a lot of characters being in the military.
So when you're an actor, you're trying to get the audience to feel something.
Yes. I'm trying to get them to understand the story, understand what I'm doing and why I'm out there. And like I said earlier, it's an emotional roller coaster. So those people are there to see some wrestling. Now, how are you going to be different than everybody else on that roster, plus all the other wrestling that they've seen? And, are you going to stick to the meat and potatoes?
So usually in a match, there's a good guy and a bad guy, correct?
Yeah, the heel and the face. The heel's the bad guy, the villain, and then the face is the good guy.
Look at how much I'm learning.
Man, hell yeah. I'm glad I'm able to share the knowledge that I just learned through that academy. It's all new to me too. I'm just blessed to be in this situation, because all this is new.
Yeah. So what would you rather be, the heel or the face?
I like being the heel because I'm the good guy in the daytime. So like that match you saw Friday, for 10 minutes, I was able to be an asshole. God, it felt good. It's just one of those things. I'd rather be the heel. Yeah. Bring the heat. I'm talking about just put an ass whooping on them and hope to God they can come back from it.
Well, I do know you as a very nice guy, so it was nice to see that turn.
Yeah, but hell, I looked you right in the eyes.
It was terrifying.
You saw me in character, and I didn't know where you were before the match, and we didn't see each other. And then I'm doing my turns and seeing where the crowd's at and stuff. And I turn around, whenever I locked eyes on you, I said, "Oh, there he is." You see this tie, this is what you're fixing. My neck hurts, my back hurts. This is why.
You did surprise me because I was like, I knew I was 10 feet away from you, but I was like, he probably doesn't see me.
Yeah.
It's like there was lights in your eyes or something. I don't know, man.
I'm looking dead at you too. He's like, well, he's not looking past me.
Next time I'm going to give it right back to you.
Hey, bring it on. Bring it on, man. That's what we're looking for, crowd involvement. And the crowd loves to be a part of it. Just know you got to be able to take back what I send. So whatever you say, I'm going to spit it back, if not a little bit harder,
So if someone has never seen a wrestling match before and they're coming to see you, sell it for them. What are they going to come see?
What are they going to see? They're going to come see the Devil Dog open up a can of ass whooping in that ring. And, it's me bringing old school with some new school stuff, right? So it's one of those things where they're going to see a lot of trash talking. They're going to see me throwing a good right hand, and they're going to see a nice jackhammer, Goldberg style, So I'm really going to bring the pressure and, kind of see where I can stretch these boundaries.
For people that say that wrestling is fake, first off, like, it's not a surprise to you.
No. I mean, we're in 2021 now. It's one of those things where, what's your definition of fake?
Yeah, we're all agreeing that it's a performance.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
Yeah, like you're not trying to, like, you're well aware it's performance.
I'm an athlete. I'm a professional athlete in pro wrestling.
Like, I never got that argument. They're like, it's fake. I'm like, they know it's fake, man.
Yeah. Well, you hear those people in the crowd too,
and I'm not saying
he's not really hitting him. Like, son of a bitch, I was right on the button.
But they're not even grasping the concept that they know it's performance. Man. They do it.
Yeah. See, I got his attention. So now I just need to sell him on the entertainment side, and it's fair enough too, because a lot of people don't entertain it that well. But whenever wrestling's bad, it's bad. Whenever it's good, it's real good. So like you can watch it and like get entertained by it, and it's entertainment.
I think that's why kids like it so much.
Oh man,
because kids don't have the
Stone Cold. My mom hated Stone Cold because whenever he came out and whenever he won, I'd run to the refrigerator, grab 2 Dr. Peppers, bust them some bitches up. Boy, I was hyped. So I loved it as a kid, and it was my escape. And hell, we tried it on everybody, and I would use the one-liners, the famous one-liners, especially from The Rock. If you ask a new kid, hey, what's your name? A new kid comes in your classroom. Well, what's your name? He's like, hey, it doesn't matter what your name is. Now sit your candy ass down. So I would do that stuff as a kid too.
Yeah, I saw this new Brad Pitt movie. The guy wasn't even, he was faking it the whole time. It's like, yeah, man, that's what an actor does.
Oh, yeah. Man, like some people, they want to battle you just to see if you'll say it's real. And it's like, it's entertainment. Now, you go in there and fall off a 4 foot and land on your back and tell me how your whole body feels. That shit ain't fake. And there's some slips that happen. Like I got a black eye from my match. And, there's just slips and cues. Like I took a headbutt right to the face. Now, if you would have told me I wasn't going to get headbutted, it's one of those things like people that say it's fake are just trying to battle you to get you to say that it's real or anything like that. But the difference between it and a real fight is the finish is determined. The winner is determined. A real fight is a gamble. Anything can happen.
And you've done some MMA fights.
And boxing.
Yeah. How many fights do you have?
So in boxing, I had 7, and then MMA, I had 3.
What was your record?
I was undefeated.
Undefeated.
Especially MMA, I just loved it because there was more to train. And I love boxing. I just couldn't get across town. I had to pay for my gas and stuff, and I couldn't drive all the way across town, and I had a job. So it was just too much, but the MMA gym was right in my circle. So it was just awesome. I got introduced to all like different kinds of fitness, and I was able to transfer my boxing into MMA.
So what's next? You're training right now. You've got your sights set on WWE would be the majors, right? That's the end goal.
WWE, AEW, New Japan. I mean, that's an indie wrestler dreaming right there, right? And that's where I'm at right now. So if you're looking at baseball, right now I'm in the farm leagues. And I'm just trying to get matches and kind of get my name out there. And my next step would be to try out for AEW or WWE, preferably WWE, because that's what I grew up watching. And I like their structure and regiment.
So you got some shows coming up or just training?
Right now, just training. There's a couple companies that want to work with me, and I'm going to submit my videos to them and then start traveling and hitting the roads. So that would happen in the next couple weeks. But right now, just training, staying ready, getting that tan on.
Getting that tan on. I like it.
Well, you got to stay ready because that phone will ring anytime, and I'm not going to sit around and I can't do it. I need a week out. I'm ready whenever the phone rings.
So lots of downtime being a wrestler.
Not really. I'm just in the beginning, so it's figuring it out. It's about anything that you do. The guys that are senior to me, they're on the road constantly, and they're getting flown places, different matches, out of state, everything. So they're constantly on the road. Being a professional wrestler, you're living on the road. Just from graduating, I've been to Tampa, Florida, Iowa, Indiana, Wisconsin, be going to New Jersey also, Vegas. You're constantly on the road.
Nice, man. Well, I really like your mindset, dude. You pay attention to the small things, which I appreciate.
Well, the small things build to the big things.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So you gotta put in the work. The grunt work is the small stuff.
Cool, man. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. I got this cigar for you from the drawing room.
Awesome.
Quad
Drawing
City's
room.
Best cigar lounge.
Well, no, that's a good place.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my time whenever you took me tonight and gave me some old fashioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was really good.
So thanks for coming on, man. We'll catch you later.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.